To Hope and Back, page 3, Lisa's first chapter. This must be the biggest ship in the world. It looks longer than our block and higher than 10 houses piled on top of each other. Its hull is black, and there are 2 tall smokestacks painted in red, white, and black stripes. Mutty says it has 6 decks, but those are just the ones that we can see above the water. Down below the waterline are more levels where the crew will be sleeping and where our luggage will be stored. Our cabin is somewhere near the top, Mutty says, pointing way up high, along with the other first-class passengers. I should be excited. We are about to sail the ocean. I should feel my heart pounding in my chest at the thought that we will be at the sea for 2 whole weeks on a journey that will take us far away from here. Waiting on the pier with us are hundreds of passengers, mostly Jewish people like me and my family. We all carry documents, visas, and other papers that will allow us to enter Havana, the capital city of Cuba, where the ship is bound. I heard Muddy and Oma say these documents are more valuable than all of our luggage and money combined. Soon after we get to the island of Cuba, we are going on to the United States of America. That's our final destination. Mutty says it's a country where people are happy to welcome Jews like us. And in the book there is a photo, and it says the St. Louis Fleet, Germany, from this port in Hamburg. Jews like us, all of this should make me jump for joy, and yes, I am curious about what this new country will be like. Will America have beautiful old buildings like the ones in Munich, where I am from? Will America have parks and schools where children like me can go, even if we are Jewish? And most important, will America be free of the Nazi soldiers who have been paroling Germany, looking for Jews to threaten and arrest? They are even here in the port in Hamburg. These soldiers are not on the pier to wave us goodbye with banners wishing us a pleasant voyage. They are here to make sure that we are gone for good. Judenfrei, that's what the Germans want to be, free of Jews. I'm not sad to leave these soldiers far behind me. It's like leaving home, probably forever. That makes me sad. I'm afraid I will never see our beautiful apartment on Elizabethstrasse again. 2 days ago, when I looked out the window of our flat on the 4th floor, I realized that this would be the last time I would see the trolley cars rumble up Tankstrasse with men, women, and children hanging off the step and out the windows. This would be the last time for me to watch the people rushing by on their way to work, and my last chance to look right across the street to where my grandmother, my Oma, Ida, has been living in her apartment for as long as I can remember. At least I don't have to say goodbye to my Oma. She is here, dressed in her traveling clothes, coming with us on this voyage. I am so sad to leave English Garten behind. Paula, our nanny, has taken me to play in this beautiful park close to my home almost every day since I was born. There are 2 merry-go-rounds in the park. The big one for the grown-ups with giant colorful horses, and the littler ones for children like me. I can't imagine that I will never ride that merry-go-round again. That I will never hear the music playing as I go round in circles that make me dizzy, so dizzy that I feel as if I'm still spinning long after the ride is over. Saying goodbye to the Englischen Garten was hard for me, but saying goodbye to Paula was even harder. You won't forget me. Paula cried as she pulled me close and squeezed me into the warm folds of her body. I knew how dangerous it had become for Christians like Paula to work for Jewish families like ours. But Paula never cared about the danger to her, to her family. She has always loved us like we were her own. She has loved me. Never, I said, muffling my tears against her apron. Maybe you will visit us in America? Paula nodded. But I think that was only to make me feel better. Mati stood close by, watching me say goodbye to Paula and not saying a word. I know how painful it is for Mati to be leaving Paula behind. Oma used to say Mati and Paula were almost like sisters. I'm not sure we will see Paula again, and I can feel a lump in the back of my throat. So here's a little photo of Lisa, the girl's point of view the story is. So that was her as a young girl. The gangplank is ready and open. It's time to board the giant ship. Come, Lizalette, Muti calls. She takes my hand and pulls me towards Shed 76, a building where we show officers the documents that allow us to leave Germany and travel to freedom. Oma Ida is right behind us with my brother Philip. Photographers are snapping pictures of the passengers as we make our way up the broad gangplank. I don't know why. Perhaps the Nazis will celebrate the departure of hundreds of Jews when these pictures appear in the newspapers. All the way up the gangplank, Mati keeps repeating how excited and happy she is to be leaving Germany. But her face tells a different story. I see the worry in her eyes and the disappointment that has taken the sparkle out of her. Yes, she's also scared about this journey, just like me. The last thing Mati did before we left our apartment was to snip the yellow stars of David off each piece of our clothing. We won't need to wear these anymore, she said as she picked at the black thread that had held the cloth stars in place. It was not so long ago that I had watched her and Oma sew the stars onto our jackets, blouses, and coats. Once we are out of Germany, we won't have to be branded as Jews by wearing these stars. We won't have to worry that people on the streets will call us names and bully us because of our religion. There will be 4 of us in our cabin. Me, Mati, Oma, and my big brother. We always had shared a room at home. I love Philip. He's after all my brother, but these days, he barely talks to me. He was born with cross eyes, and I think he's angry because people tease him. With all the growing hatred of Jews, this has been happening a lot. Mati said we must be strong when we are being chased and called names on the street. But Philip has been picked on twice as much. Not only because we're Jewish and have to wear the yellow star, but because of his looks, too. I also wonder if the reason Philip doesn't talk much is because he feels alone. He is the only boy in our family now. I miss my papa so much it hurts, and I have a feeling that Philip must miss Papa even more. So I'm going to show you 2 photos. One is the passengers on board the St. Louis as they look out at the German shore before the ship's departure for Cuba. And one is one of the greeting cards produced by Berger und Rockel. So there's the ship. And if you look, you can see the passengers. And then there's a greeting card. The story of my papa's death is terribly sad. So sad that I get upset just thinking about it. Papa worked in the family business that my grandfather owned. Mati always said proudly that Berger and was the largest greeting card factory in Germany. We heard often at the dinner table that more than 900 people worked in the business. That was the pride and joy of my family. Papa did a lot of traveling for the company, selling cards and catalogs in other countries in Europe. Because of all the hatred of Jews, he also used these business trips to smuggle our money out of the country in case we needed to leave. You never know what might happen here in Germany, he used to say. Hitler and his soldiers are making all kinds of problems for Jews. I'm creating a nest egg for us in Holland, just in case. I didn't even know what a nest egg was until Matti explained to Philip and me that it was a kind of savings that you put away for safekeeping until you need it one day in the future. He was so wise, my papa, thinking ahead like that, even though what he was doing was very dangerous. He whispered to us that it was against the law for Jews to have bank accounts in other countries, but he had to take the risk. On one of those business trips, the horrible Gestapo, the secret police of the Nazi Party, boarded the train on which Papa was traveling. Any contact with the Gestapo was terribly frightening. Oma told me once they had absolute power of life and death. They searched my father and all the other Jews, and they discovered his bank books from Holland, the ones that showed our nest egg. Papa could have been arrested on the spot, but he managed to avoid being taken. Everyone says that Papa was so charming that he could talk his way out of any situation, and that's what he must have done with the officials. He arrived safely in Holland, but he knew he would never, ever be able to return to us in Germany. He must have missed us so much there in Holland all alone, believing he might never see us again. That's when he took his own life. It's as if the Nazis killed him. That's what I think. They made him so sad about what would become of his life that he had no choice but to end it. So sad.